Imagine 15 minutes to showtime. You're on stage rehearsing your speech for the final run-through, when right there, you wet your pants. In this scenario, you're also 9 years old. Luckily, your friends are there to support you by laughing and taking a video of your embarrassment. What would you do in this situation? Luckily, I was not the 9-year-old in this story. I was just coaching him. So I sprang into action, blocked off his friends, shooed them out of the room, and turned back to my student, who was still as a statue, standing in a puddle. Before I could speak, he said, "It's okay. I have spare pants." My hero. After a quick wardrobe change, some cleanup on aisle 7, we brought the boys and the audience back in, and this student crushed it. He walked off stage to a standing ovation. He had every reason to back out right then and there, but he showed us all the power of showing yourself, even when you're vulnerable. As a public speaking coach and professor, I've seen countless presentations that created growth and personal connection. I've also seen quite a few people held back by their fear of presenting themselves. And it's usually not because class with me is all that scary. You might know that public speaking, or stage fright, is the #1 fear in the world, more than snakes, more than heights, more than dying, maybe more than being thrown from a cliff into a pit of snakes and dying. How many times have you seen someone perform and thought, wow, I would love to do that, but not in front of all these people? What if I look bad? What if I mess up? And yet, who's out there living their best lives, reaching their full potential without apology? It's the people who put themselves out there. Not because they're not afraid, but because they choose to do it anyway. So that's your challenge. You're supposed to feel nervous, and you're supposed to give your gift anyway. I've taken many different stages, run many different shows, but the gift of performance is almost always the same. From metal guitar to Toastmasters, even spoken word poetry, one of my favorite forms of public speaking, to university classes, which I love so much, and of course, rap shows. And throughout all of these very different experiences, there's been one common thread weaving them all together, bridging the gap to my higher self and helping other people reach theirs. When you take the stage, you give 2 gifts. For yourself, you get to grow, advance, level up. You might even enjoy it. But for the audience, you give them permission to do what you're doing. It may seem small, but the impact is anything but. One time, I had my university students present some short, punchy intros on the first day of class. It's a class on presentation skills, after all. And one of my students told me beforehand he didn't want to go. He was shy, nervous, had no ideas. I said, okay. We had a lot of students to get through. I didn't want to force him. So after 30 high-energy presentations, I was ready to wrap things up until I saw his hand from the back of the class. Don't forget about me. He then gave a talk that was thoughtful, well-structured, and straight from the heart. A few weeks later, he wowed us again with his individual presentation and found his confidence. The previous term, he had been a shy, nervous student in the back of the class. But on that first day, something changed for him. I didn't try to force him to present. I just created an environment where he felt comfortable and inspired to step up and show himself. And from that day, he never looked back. That's the power of showing yourself authentically. And it works whether you're a student or a professional and already great at what you do. It's still that simple. There's always a watershed moment in the first 15 minutes that I work with someone new. I have them speak, no coaching yet. Give them an easy topic. Talk naturally. And I take a video. So a minute later, I give some feedback. Hey, great job on this. Now we need to work on this, this, and that. And they may have entered with some skepticism. But when they see the instant replay of exactly what we're talking about, the look on their faces is priceless. And by the second time they speak, they have already leveled up. That's the power of presenting yourself the way that you are. You show the path to your next step. You are the bridge to your higher self. Now, it's great that we can do something in just a couple of minutes, but it doesn't stop there. Oh, whew, found my higher self. Yeah, check. Moving on. No. The big stage, the real deal. That's your biggest growth tool. That's how you make the final effort and complete the level. Recently, I had a client present to her office. Not exactly the big stage with 100 or 1,000 people, but with a dozen folks from her office. And when we had worked together one-on-one beforehand, everything was fine. She had a script that we were excited about, beautiful slides, and she was confident to share her ideas. Then, the big day arrived, and she said, "Coach, I can't believe how nervous I am." I said, "I believe it. Come on. Now get up there and do your thing. This is how you're supposed to feel." Sure enough, despite the anxiety, she made her presentation look effortless, and her office was on the edge of their seats. Her boss joked that that would be a tough act to follow, until her colleague raised his hand and volunteered to present at the next meeting. She overcame her challenge. She leveled up her skills. And she also created an opportunity for her teammate to take that step himself. When you present yourself authentically, you show other people that it's possible, and you invite them to bridge that gap for themselves. Now, your show may be speaking, it may be painting, or dancing, or coding, or designing, or parenting. Whatever it is, show yourself authentically to the world. Give your gift, and the world rewards you. My biggest lesson in this area was actually not from speaking or from a student transformation, but from music. Not too long ago, I had a metal band, just me and the drummer, and we were desperate for a bass player. We also could have gone for a singer, maybe another guitarist, a videographer, a producer, an engineer, a designer, but the one that was really holding us back was the missing bass player. So we tried everything, or so I thought. Posted ads online, printed out flyers, and stuck them up at studios around town. Went to shows, asked around. Towards the end, we even posted videos online of our songs from the studio. Hey, here's a song we jammed on. If you want to play bass on this, call me. Someone, please. And that eventually may have worked. But it was too little, too late. After 2 years of fruitless searching, my drummer gave me the talk. He sat me down and said, Blair, it's not you, it's me. I have another band. Now, I, of course, knew about this other band that was actually playing shows and releasing songs. I mean, sure, we were in the studio all the time, but we were never on stage. All those songs that we wrote and recorded, good luck trying to find any of them. We basically didn't exist. It's no wonder he got busy with his other band, and we didn't have what it took to attract someone to help us grow to that next level. So eventually, I started making rap music, moved to Thailand, and I decided to do things a little differently. I knew I needed a producer to make beats for me, and I knew I wasn't going to find any in my apartment. So yes, I started going to shows. But this time, I got on stage. Who cares that I didn't feel 100% ready? Oh, my songs weren't perfect. I'm not quite sure. I went to the first open mic, handed the DJ a beat, and freestyled about how I make rap songs, and if you make beats, come talk to me. And lo and behold, right there in the audience was my producer and creative partner extraordinaire, Pete. 2 years, I searched for a bassist and came up empty. One time, I went on stage, found my guy, and 2 years later, I'm making songs that I never even dreamed of. I'm playing regular shows, and I'm even releasing my songs for the world to hear. Yes, you can listen to my music. It's not locked in a studio somewhere. I didn't feel 100% ready. I wasn't so sure about presenting myself at this time in this way, but I put myself out there, and I got my reward. So find your gift, whatever it is that makes you special. Maybe it's speaking, singing, art, designing jewelry. Maybe you build state-of-the-art websites or digital marketing campaigns. That's your art. That's your show. Own it. Because when you present yourself authentically to the world, you go from doing what you do to becoming who you're meant to be. Looking back, it's safe to say my younger self had no idea what he was doing. And that's why I can tell you, the stage is yours. Own it.